guys, my name's Becca and this is my first ever 3-in-1 video, and this month's theme is LGBTQ books, and I thought I'd recommend a couple of books that I don't think are that popular and I feel that need more representation and have more people read them. I haven't personally read 2 of them, but I think they've got interesting storylines and the reviews are really good on them, and I am planning on reading them at some point in the future, and I'll obviously make reviews for them later, but I thought I'd share them with you now in case you haven't heard of them and want to check them out yourselves. The first one I want to talk about is Peter Darling by Austin Chant. It's a Peter Pan retelling, and instead of it being about Peter's time in Neverland, it's about what happens after Peter leaves Neverland. He spent time with the Darlings, hence Peter Darling, but he's now gone back to Neverland, and Neverland has essentially fallen to pieces. The Lost Boys have all grown up and gotten very feral, and everything's gone insane. But the thing that's freaking Peter out more than anything is the fact that he's starting to get feelings for Hook, which I thought this sounded like such a cool, interesting idea to see two enemies to fall in love with each other. It sounded like such an interesting idea, and from the reviews I've seen, it sounds like it's a really good book and a really brilliant, positive gay romance novel while still having the original Peter Pan ideas in it. I haven't actually read this one yet. It is on my TBR list, but reviews are really good, and I'll leave a link to it below in the description if you want to check it out more. Second book I'm talking about is April Daniels' Dreadnought, which is all about a trans character. The main character is a transgender person, and they're also a superhero. They're transgender first, and there is a lot of talk about their family accepting them and going through transitions and all the rest of it, but it's also about the fact that they gain superpowers and they become the Dreadnought, the superhero, which sounded like such a cool idea and plot twist on it all. Well, not a plot twist, but a really cool, interesting twist on the traditional superhero, because you usually just get the white, cis, heterosexual superhero, but in this one they're actually transsexual, and it's actually really gone into. I haven't read this one either, but it's definitely on my to buy list because it sounded like such an interesting concept and such an interesting story, and I haven't actually read anything with an explicitly trans character in it, so I thought this would be a really good one to sort of get into and to maybe learn more about transsexuality and everything to do with that, because I don't know that much, admittedly. I know barely anything about it, so even if I have read this book, I don't think I'll be able to give like a review saying that it's a very good representation or not, but from what I've seen of all the reviews, people are saying that it is a very good representation. I'd have to ask trans people themselves if they feel that it's a good book about trans issues, and if you are someone who knows about transitioning or anything like that and who have read the book, please tell me down in the comments what you thought of it, so maybe I can do another video explaining a bit more about it or anything like that, maybe correct anything that I've said that's wrong. I don't know, but if you have read it or anything, please tell me down in the comments what you thought of it. And the final book I am talking about is the Torchwood series, which I know is a TV show, but there's a huge, great, big, long series of books and audio books all about the Torchwood team, and Jack is very LGBT, and so is Yanto. Yanto is gay, and Jack is, I guess the equivalent would be to say he's pansexual. I'm not quite sure what his sexuality is. It's never really talked about in that matter. They don't really label Jack, and I guess you could say he is pansexual in terms of humanity, which I think is the only really way to describe Jack. And also throughout the novels as well, or at least in certain novels, they do go into more of Jack and Yanto's relationship, as they are a couple in the show and in the books. So I definitely recommend those as well, because that's a really nice like romance story that it doesn't take up the entire novel, but it's a big plot point in some of the novels. So I definitely check that out, because as well, obviously it's a LGBT romance with containing 2 people with different sexualities that aren't straight, which is quite cool. I would say to check those out if you were a fan of the TV show. Hell, if you weren't a fan of the TV show, I'd still say go for it and read them a bit. If you watched Doctor Who and saw Jack and fell in love with him, I'd definitely say to go read the books. But I would say as well to be slightly careful with them because they are a bit more adult than the Doctor Who books are. So there is a few scenes that may not be suitable for slightly younger readers, but I would say to check them out anyway if that kind of thing is your thing, or if you don't mind it, or anything like that. I would say to look at those as well. And that is my 3-in-1 for now. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I've done this right, because I've never done one before. But I hope I've done this right. If you guys have any other recommendations for me for LGBTQ books, please tell me in the comments down below any of your recommendations. If I can be slightly cheeky, does anyone have any book recommendations with an asexual character in? I know that's a not exactly weird request, but I've never actually read a book with an asexual character in. And while I'm desperately trying to find one, I can't find one at the moment. So if anybody has any recommendations of books with asexual characters in, please tell me that down in the comments below. Or if you've got any other LGBT characters that you think I should check out, please do tell me those down in the comments below as well. Or if you've read any of the books that I've mentioned, please tell me what you thought of those down in the comments as well. That'd be awesome. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I had a really good time making it, and I hope you check out those books and potentially enjoy them. And I hope I've recommended you some books that maybe you haven't heard of before or hadn't considered to be LGBT. So I hope I've helped a bit more with some book recommendations, and I hope you enjoyed this video. But until next time, guys, bye!